let me back up a little bit and ask you to share what made you go into missions. There's not a lot of people who are wanting, particularly in the prime of their life, their 20s, and want to
Mhm.
go to another country and dedicate themselves to a people of a different language, different culture, for the single purpose of making disciples of the nations. So I'm
Mhm.
curious, what made you want to go into mission work?
So, I mean, to start with that, I have to go all the way back when I was still in college. I went to Morehead State University. I was really involved in the Baptist campus ministry there. And the specific role I had in that ministry was outreach to international students. So I worked with international students. I did Bible studies with them. Shared the gospel with them. And I think that's where God grew my heart for at least for missions at the beginning, right? And He put on my heart to, at least go for 2 years. Like the IMB has a journeyman position, which is a 2-year missionary position, which I'm currently in. I'm just in my third year of a 2-year program, right? But yeah, so I think that's where God started to grow my heart. And then after college, I graduated and I went and worked at Crossings at Cedarmore in Baghdad, Kentucky, as a maintenance intern and I worked there for 2 years, and I was discipled there by some really godly men. Obviously, you guys know how Crossings is, how that organization works. But I was discipled there, and I really grew there in my faith. And one of the head maintenance guy at the camp at the time came to Panama every year. And he said, Dylan, I know you're interested in doing missions after this internship ends. Why don't you come with me to Panama and meet these missionaries that I work with? And I was like, yeah, sure, of course, I would love to. And that was actually my first international mission trip ever. That was the first time I ever flew on a plane, everything. In 2022, I think that's when it was. So I came to Hake, Panama, where I'm serving now. I met the Morrises, Kenny and Cheryl Morris, which they've been here for about 20 years, and working in Hake, the village that I live in now, for about 10 with the indigenous people there. And I remember one night in my bed, I was just like, man, I was like, I know God's calling me to do missions, but I really hope He doesn't call me here, because this would be a very hard place to be,
Yeah.
right? Very far out there, and just yeah. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of a lot of things with Hake, but I remember being like, I really hope He just calls me somewhere else. But I knew He was calling me there because of that, right? So Kenny and Cheryl, again, like the trip went on. I talked to Kenny and Cheryl more about missions and my interest in it. And they're like, why don't you just come here? We'd love to have you here. And I was like, yeah, let me get back to you on that, basically. They're like, okay, well, let's give you all the information with the IMB and all that stuff. And it wasn't until 6 months after that trip of me really wrestling, praying, and, you know, searching out advice that like I just didn't want to
Yeah.
go. But I remember reading, the story of Moses. Before he went to go to talk to Pharaoh to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. He's Moses is talking to God, and he's like, hey, no, I can't speak well. I can't do what you're asking me to do. All this stuff. And God's like, well, where's your brother? We'll get him to speak. He said, but you're going to go and do it. You're still going to go.
Yeah.
And I remember reading that, and I was just like, oh, I'm doing the exact same thing he's doing. I'm just trying to negotiate. But we all saw what happened. Moses went, right?
Right.
So it just came to a question. It's like, well, will I be obedient to the call, or will I not be? And I'm like, well, I'll be obedient. So I went.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of ended up on the mission fields. And then through time, again, like I said, I thought I was going to just do 2 years and be done, right? I was going to come back to the States. I was going to live regular life. I didn't, I was fine. I got my missions. I got the itch scratched. I'm good. But God just grew me in love for the people there and the work. And I just knew I wanted to be a part of the work until it was finished. Until I thought it was finished. So that's why I'm staying on. And that's